From the Ticats Audio Network, this is Ticats Today with Brayden Neville.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Ticats Today on this Thursday, June the 15th, 2023. I'm Brayden Neville and thank you for listening. The Ticats continued practice today, preparing for the Battle of the QEW this Sunday with the rival Toronto Argonauts, and I spoke to a few ex-Argos on today's show, Chris Edwards and Jagarrett Davis. Chris Edwards, he got off to that hot start in the first game of the season against the Bombers, and Jagarrett Davis, he spent that 1 year over there in Toronto last year, which ultimately ended in a Grey Cup, and JG's been in a Grey Cup game every single year of his career. I also spoke to Javien Elliot and, as always, Coach O. But first, let's get to some news around the Ticats today, as they have announced they've signed Jon'Vea Johnson. And if that name sounds familiar, it's because he was with the team for training camp and has made his way back to the roster. The receiver has also spent time with the Montreal Alouettes, the Dallas Cowboys, the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Chicago Bears. In some more news around the team has announced fullback Miles Manalo has been released and D lineman Reese Martin has been placed on the suspended list. Pretty much another regular day at practice today, but one thing that I noticed was Coach O made his way up the scoreboard at one point to hang out with the scoreboard camera operator, and it's not exactly an easy climb up that board. There's a ladder somewhere in there. I know I would never go up there. I'm deathly afraid of heights. That's a story for another day that I will never get into. But Coach, he was up there getting a better view of practice, and I asked him why he was getting that aerial view today. First thing, Coach, I noticed today during practice you got up on the scoreboard there to get a better view of the game or a better view of the practice. What was the thought process behind that, and are you scared of heights?
Am I scared of what? Heights.
Of heights?
I don't prefer heights. That's just something I kind of do annually, to be honest with you. It's, I could get into the why, but it's really, then it puts it about me. This isn't about me. It's a thankless job. Nobody tells the video guy. They never walk by his office and say, hey, great job today. They just say, hey, play number 4 is missing. And, there's wind howling up there, and you know what I mean? And so, you go up there and have some conversation. I think it's just real clean and simple. It's just we're a team. And so sometimes, we're going to pick up the equipment for the equipment people. That's just what we do. It's not a pat on the back. We're not doing this for a press or for whatever. This is just what we do around here. And, it's everybody's job, but we're always in this together. When you win, everybody's happy. And when you're on the other side of it, people have down weeks. That's just what it is. Everybody's in it invested the same. They just have different roles. So there's no role beneath me or anybody else.
The Argonauts will be celebrating the Grey Cup win from last year before the game. Is that going to add maybe a little more fire before that game? No,
they earned it. They can do what they want and enjoy it. At the end of the day, they're going to kick the ball off, and we're focused on the football game, not all the extracurricular. That's just it's their home opener. Let them enjoy, and then let's play ball.
That was Coach O following today's practice. Now, with the upcoming game against the Toronto Argonauts, I spoke to some guys who will be facing off against their former team, and the first one being Chris Edwards. He spent the previous 2 seasons with the Argos, and I wanted to get the inside scoop on this matchup and what his emotions are heading into the game against his former team.
It's exciting. I'm just ready to get out there and ball. Our teammates get out there. We stumbled and took our first loss last week, so it's going to be good to go out here and, get in the win column.
Now going up against Kelly and that offense, what does this defense need to do to stop them?
We just got to be physical, execute the plays the coach called. We got a lot of different coverages and a lot of different looks. So, him being a new quarterback, it could kind of, throw him off a little bit. So that's all we got to do is execute, be physical, stop the run.
And I haven't gotten to talk to you about that play from last week for your first touchdown as a Ticat. Maybe just walk me through what happened there on that play.
Well, honestly, I didn't know what happened. I just saw the ball on the ground, ran, picked it up. And as soon as I picked it up, I looked back, and I saw somebody right there. So I just threw the stiff arm, broke it, took it 60 yards. As long as everybody buys into what we have in the building, it's good. It's good to have different personalities, You don't want all the same people in the locker room because you're going to get the same thing. So, it's good to have different perspectives, different personalities, and we all coming together now, and I feel like it's going to help us on the field and off the field.
That was Chris Edwards. And now to another former Argo, Jagarrett Davis. And now it might have just been for one season. It was enough for him to get the job done as he captured a Grey Cup in his lone season there before returning back this season to the Ticats. I spoke to him about his mindset heading into the game. So, Jaguarid, big matchup this weekend against your former team, a team you just won the Grey Cup with. What's your emotions heading into this game?
To get off on the right foot. I know we had a tough one last week, and regardless of the opponent, it's the next opponent, so it's the most important opponent. And that's really how I'm attacking this week. Outside of that, I mean, it's going to be good seeing some good old faces, but once the ball is kicked off, they're more the enemy for 60 minutes. So.
Now, you've gotten to see Chad Kelly maybe more than a lot of fans have, just based off the sample size we've seen from him. You've been practicing. You practiced with him last year. What can you say about him and his game?
Chad is a gamer. One thing I know about Chad is he's going to leave it all out on the field. And he's going to do everything it takes to help his team win and put his team in the best position possible. And he is a leader, regardless of how people might look at him, view him. Like when he stepped in the Grey Cup, we had no doubt that he was going to go out there and get the job done, and that's what he did. And rest assured, that's what you can expect out of him week in and week out. So I know what it's been a home opener, him finally being the man, I expect big things out of him. So I don't expect nothing less but the best from Chad.
Aside from Chad, what does this defense need to do to shut down that Argos offense?
Just come out and play Ticat D. Fast, physical, execute at a high level, take away the mental errors, self-inflicting penalties, and just go be us. And let the ball snap and go play ball.
Is it safe to say once the whistle blows that there's no more friends when you get on that field against the Argonauts?
Man, it's always friends and family, but for me, it's it's laughing and joking to the ball snap. Then for those 5-6 seconds, you know what I'm saying? I see a different color. But after that, I'm back to laughing and joking. So
that was JG up on the podium. Now, I've talked about the new PFF grading system, and they have released the top 10 players at each position from week 1. And yes, I know it's only one game, but I just wanted to highlight a few Ticats that appeared on the list this week. Duke Williams came in at number 7 among receivers. He had a 66.7 rating in his debut with the Cats. James Butler was number 1 among running backs with a 70.7 and also led all running backs in rushing first downs. Among the O-linemen, Coulter Woodmansey, he ranked at number 4 with an 81.9 rating, and he allowed 0 QB pressure, which is one of those advanced stats, and a pretty good number, not allowing any pressure on Bo. David Beard, he was number 7 on that list with a 76.4. Ted Laurent, he was number 1 among D linemen. He had that big sack in the opener, and he came in with a 92.4 rating. And finally, Jameer Thurman, who had that monster game with 10 tackles, came in at number 2 among linebackers with an 80.4 rating. So that's something we'll be keeping an eye on week to week. I find these advanced stats pretty interesting, so I'll keep an eye on them, and I will definitely be talking about them a lot as the shows roll on. Javien Elliot, he spoke to me today after practice, and we touched on that upcoming game and getting in those reps as a Ticat. All right, so Javien, you got to play in that first game as a Ticat, first regular season game. What was it like getting out there, getting in the first one?
Yeah, it was great, man. Really, personally, it was great just to kind of get a feel to play with the new teammates, kind of just see how it's easy to do things in practice. Just now it's really about translating to the game, working on communication,
And now you move on to this game against the Argonauts. So they won the Grey Cup last year. What do you have to do on this defense to shut down this Argonauts team?
We just got to go out there and do our job, really. Do our job and do our job well. That's really the main thing. Trying not to overcomplicate things, trying not to, do too much, really. Just play within the scheme and let our abilities take over,
And playing against a quarterback like Chad Kelly, you haven't played him very much. He's a rookie, although he's won the Grey Cup. Does it make it more difficult, maybe reading plays off a QB that you might not have seen as much of, like other QBs?
Well, really, regardless of we don't know what they're going to come out and do. So whether it was a rookie or anybody else, first game, they haven't played a game yet in the regular season. So, really we just got to go out there and it's kind of like what I just said. As long as we do our job, play with great technique, play with great eyes, it's really more so about us,
And the Argonauts will be celebrating the Grey Cup before the game. Does that maybe add a little more fuel to the fire, getting to maybe spoil the celebration a bit?
Really, we just trying to come out with a win. I'm not worried about what they're celebrating. That's in the past. I don't care about any of that. Really, the main thing is just coming out and getting that win and bringing it back here.
Big thanks to Javien Elliot, Jagera Davis, Chris Edwards, and as always, Coach O for being on the show. Before we go, there's a few things I want to remind you of. If you're heading to the game on Sunday in Toronto and you want to get some pre-game merch, you want to look good, you want to wear the black and gold and support the team in Toronto, well then make sure to go to the Ticats shop, show them your ticket, and get 20% off your purchase. It's a solid little deal. And also, another great deal, if you're looking for something for Dad for Father's Day, it's just around the corner. From now until June 18th, you can get 50% off select items around the shop, so make sure to go and get Dad something nice for Father's Day. And finally, if you're looking for a little pre-game shindig, if you will, to hang out with some Ticats fans in Toronto before the game, you can go to the Brazen Head Irish Pub on 165 East Liberty Street in Toronto this Sunday to enjoy some bevies with some Ticats fans as you prepare to cheer the team on. It'll be a fun time, so make sure to head down and have a little bit of fun. That being said, that's all the time for me today. Make sure to tune in next time to Ticats Today.